Hi you guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Stace. I'm so happy that you are visiting today. In part one of this video, I am going to show you how to make these cute little spiders. Really easy process. And then in part two of this video, I'll show you how to turn these cute little spiders into a rear view mirror dangle. So once you get the hang of the spider, you'll be able to turn these into practically anything. I turned this one into a keychain, and then I have a few more that I turned into pokey tools. I actually saw these pokey tools first at Jazz Up Crafts on Instagram, so definitely go and check her out. I did not see any tutorials or anything like that, but I did study her picture, came up with my own process. So you may already know how to do these. You may do them a little bit different. You may have seen somebody else do them a little bit different. And that is great. This process works for me, so I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. Also, this video is for BB Craft, where you can save 10% off of your entire order by using my code STACE10. They also have a YouTube program. All of the information will be in the description box below, so go and check that out. Specifically from BB Craft today, I am going to be using these nylon nose pliers to keep my wire straight. I'm also going to be using these jewelry bell pliers to help me make some of my loops. And then you also may see me using some of these golden bead caps. So let's go over the additional items that you'll need. You can see that I have some little tube beads here in this tray. And then I also have some really little beads as well. Those came out of a package like this, Crafter Square from Dollar Tree. So here are the little tube beads that I use. And then they also have these little bitty beads in them as well. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit. And so that is what I'm using. And if you use the Crafter Square pack, they do come in different colors. So I have them in this green. I also have it in this little pink with some of the blue and these maroon beads. I have a primarily blue pack as well. And then I also have a primarily pink pack as well. And then I also had this little black and white pack. But the packaging sucks. Everything's spilled, mixed up together. And I was not about separating anything. So I just stuck everything into these little cubby holes. And so that's why I went ahead on and emptied some in this tray. So that's the tube bead. I'm also using these little bitty small beads as well from the Crafter Square pack. So those tiny beads will take care of the legs. And then we also need a small bead for the head and a little bit larger bead for the body. So for the body, I'm going to use this 14mm bead. And then I'm also going to use a bead that's a little bit smaller. And now let's talk about the wire. So this was my first attempt, and as you can see, these legs are very, very bendable. They won't break. The wire is strong, and that is because for these, and I use the Dollar Tree floral wire. This is 26 gauge, and so I think that's approximately 0.4 millimeters, and so that is what I use to create the legs on here. So I want to let you know that you can use that. It totally works, but for this demonstration, I wanted to try something a little bit stronger. And so I am using this 0.6 millimeter gold wire, which is approximately 22 gauges. So that is what I'm going to use for this. You may also need some round nose pliers like this, some little wire cutters like this, or your little flat nose pliers like this. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to get about 4.5 inches to 5 inches of wire, and I need 4 pieces of this. Okay, so I have my 4.5 inch to 5 inch piece of wire, and I'm going to take one end of it and make a loop. So that's the beginning of the loop. And then I'm going to twist it until I see about 2 loops on the top of my pliers. Okay, so that is 2 loops. And then I'm just going to use my nylon nose pliers to straighten this out pretty good. And then this is going to be my bead pattern. I have a dark gray bead, a little tube bead, another dark gray bead, another tube bead, a light gray bead, another tube bead, dark gray, and a 2 bead, and then we're repeating the same thing on the other side. Okay. And guys, I don't know what the correct name for these are. I'm calling them 2 beads. Okay, so here we go. Another 2 bead. Dark gray, oh, another 2 bead. Okay, when we get to this point, I'm just going to take my pliers and just make a bend right here. Just like that. So now this is what we should have. And then I'm going to string the other side. So starting at the top, we have another 2 bead. We should have something like that. It was actually just a little bit too long. I'm just going to cut off a little bit because I want to curl it down just maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay, so we should have something that looks like that. Really cute. And now we need to repeat this process 3 more times. Okay, I have a complete set of my legs now. I forgot to mention that you guys also need a head pin. You can also use an eye pin if you wanted to. So where the head is, that's going to be the top of our spider. I am going to start with a little bead cap here. And then the next bead is going to be my smaller bead. Okay, and I think I'll put another little bead cap on the end. And I like the way that looks, so that's what we have so far. If you wanted to, you can also put E6000 or any other jewelry glue onto your head pin first to make your beads way more secure. I did use E6000 on my pokey tools, but I did not use the E6000 on my keychain, and I found that I didn't really need it because I'm going to pull this really, really tight. So this is what we have so far, and now it's time to assemble the legs. So I'm going to just take one of the legs, and it's already bent in half, so it should rest on that pin like that. And then just get it as close as you can to that bead or that bead cap, whatever you have right here. And I am going to twist it around. Like that, and then I'm just pushing it as close as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to do it again. Okay, so that is going to get pretty tight. You see that that isn't going anywhere. If you do find that you need a bit more room to turn this twice, then you can definitely let out one of your loops on the side so you can get a little bit more room here. Okay, I'm just going to do that with all of the legs, twisting it twice. Yeah. Okay, now I have all of the legs on here and they are pretty tight. Now I'm just going to hold this and then push these legs as tight as I can towards the head. Okay, when I have that as tight as it can go, I'm just going to put another bead cap on here using my 14mm bead. And then closing that with another bead cap. And so this is what we should have. I'm going to push it down again towards the head. Now I want to make a loop with the remaining wire. So I'm just going to roll that down. Okay, and that is nice and tight. And this is what I have. I'm just going to go ahead on and bend those legs. And we have ourselves a spider. Separate them out a little bit. Okay, you guys, and we have ourselves a spider. We should have our head pin and our cute little bead cap on the head, and then we should have this loop on the body. And now you can take this loop, add a jump ring, and then you can add it to anything that you want to, any kind of tassels. You can be just as creative as you want to because you have a little dangle. So stay tuned to part 2, and I'm going to take this little spider pennant here and turn it into a rear view mirror dangle. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, Stace 10 over there at bbcraft.com. Check the description box below for all of the links. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer you as best I can. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I'll see you in the next video.